Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today we're going to be talking about the wide receivers because this was also a video I should have done, but I figured I'd wait another week to do it. Dan Graziano linked the Rams to 3 different wide receivers, and the growing assumption by I think a lot of reporters here is that the Rams are going to make a trade for a wide receiver at the deadline. But if they do, which one? And of course, will they actually do it? Well, we're going to get into it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. And in addition to that, today's sponsor of the video is BetUS. And BetUS has a deal where you can get a 150% bonus match on your first deposit and 125% bonus match on your next 2 deposits after that, up to $2,000 using the code YouTube150. That's YouTube150 to get a 150% bonus match on your first deposit and 125% on your next 2 deposits. So be sure to check out BetUS and use that code and get access to that. Okay. So there were 3 wide receivers, Davante Adams, Diontae Johnson, and Amari Cooper, that were linked to the Rams. And I'll tell you right now, I think all 3 are good receivers in this league, without a doubt. Davante Adams is going to be a Hall of Famer. Amari Cooper might even be a Hall of Famer, depending on how his 30s go. But he has a nice little setup there. And Diontae Johnson is a guy that I think a lot of people just kind of forgot about, but is still a very quality receiver and would fit very well in this scheme as a blocker. So let's talk about it because, first off, the start here is with the Rams, right? We're talking about Davante Adams. Of course, he makes sense. Davante Adams is still an elite receiver. Now, he's not going to offer you much as a blocker anymore. In 2022, he was ranked the 24th overall blocker according to PFF. Since he is not even ranked in the top 60, I didn't bother to look after that. It's not even close. I just kept searching his name, was not popping up. So the reality of it is he's just really a high-paid, top dog, #1 receiver, right? And he's going to be 32 in December, but he still plays at a crazy high level. He's caught 96 touchdowns in his career. He's almost at 11,000 yards for his career, 890 receptions. Like I said, Hall of Famer. 2024, he's already got 18 receptions for 209 yards and a touchdown. And now let's get into, first off, with Davante Adams, what would he cost the Rams? Because in 2024, if they were to trade him, he has a dead cap hit of $7.8 million, and in 2025, it's $15.7 million. Now, the Rams would owe $16.6 million in 2024 if they made this trade. And obviously, that's just base, right? The Rams could obviously entice a team like this by offering more in their draft picks and their compensation to incentivize the Raiders to take on more money, essentially, right? Like they did with Von Miller and the Broncos. So wouldn't be shocked if they went that route and that's how they did it. And then 2025 is $15.7 million, and then after that, which the Rams would owe 28.4, and then after that, 2026, you're looking at $40 million, but there's not a lot that's guaranteed that season for the Rams. So Davante Adams at age 32, this would be an all-in move. He's 31 now. He'll be 32 in December. This would 100% be we're going to win the Super Bowl with this move type of move. I don't think they need Davante Adams. I don't, because they do have Puka and they do have Cooper. And of course, you have Tutu Atwell emerging here. You have Jordan Whittington, Demarcus Robinson. So I really like their wide receiver room. But if you really wanted to take things over the top, and maybe you think this is the only way this year, Cooper might never be 100% this season. Puka Nacua, who knows, right? Then maybe you do go this route. And Davante Adams is a guy that can command double teams. So when Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp aren't out there, he can still keep the offense rolling. But in addition to that, when they are, now you have the best trio that you could have imagined in Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and of course Davante Adams. So it's interesting. It would be dependent on the price and if the Rams were willing to take this thing past this year, because I could see the Jets getting involved here and offering more, because I think if he becomes available, Aaron Rodgers is going to move mountains to get him. So I think that's something to consider, something to keep in mind, is that the Rams could very well have to fight to get Davante Adams and might push his price up there. I have no idea what a Davante Adams deal would cost. I don't think it'd cost a second-round pick, which the Rams traded away for Braden Fisk. So I think maybe a third and a fifth, something along those lines. Now, would the Rams do that? I don't know, but they've been linked to Davante Adams. It feels like a move that we should at least have in the back of our mind, because when you talk about the fact that the Rams this offseason were interested in Mike Evans, they showed interest, and then on top of that, they met with Romo Dunze at the Combine. Well, and we know that they were also interested in Brock Bowers and really wanted to trade up to get him. Clearly, they wanted another pass catcher with what they have, and so it becomes interesting. Will Davante Adams even be available? That's another question. It just feels like he has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It doesn't feel like he wants to be a Raider anymore. Feels like he's almost being kind of withheld. But at the same time, the Raiders, they had a really good win against the Ravens. They got blown out by Carolina. But if they bounce back, and the trade deadline is extended a little bit further this year, but if they bounce back, maybe they're trying to trade and add pieces to this team. Raiders got a good defense. I don't know if necessarily they'd be willing to part with a Davante Adams if they don't have to. So that's what I'll say there. Would I do it if I'm the Rams? I'll have my thoughts at the end of this video, because I want to also talk about the other guys. Amari Cooper, 30 years old. Now, with Davante Adams, he has an out in his deal. You can get out of it with limited damage, but he has 3 years left. Amari Cooper would be a rental. Amari Cooper would be going all in, would be very similar to trading for Sammy Watkins, in my opinion. He would also only be owed $1.2 million from the Rams in 2024. That's it. So that is very interesting. Might raise the value because he wouldn't cost that much, but might also lower the value because you don't have long-term, control with him. He's 21st right now in the league in blocking among all wide receivers. He has 679 receptions for his career, 9,599 yards, and 62 touchdowns. He, in 2024, has 12 catches for 113 and 2 touchdowns. He has maybe the worst quarterback in the NFL throwing to him right now in Deshaun Watson. So they could probably be a lot better. Bottom line is Amari Cooper is still a great route runner. He's a willing blocker. He's an active participant in the blocking game, but he's also very athletic, very fast, can go up and high point the football as well. Amari Cooper is a model starting receiver. That's what he always has been, right? And it was years ago, but I remember him taking a tour around the St. Louis Rams building and even taking a picture right next to the picture with, I believe it was Isaac Bruce in the Super Bowl. So Amari Cooper, the organization to a degree has met him. I mean, Sean McVay wasn't a part of the organization then, so they are aware of him. Could they make this move? Well, I'll tell you right now, it makes more sense than the Raiders, and here's why. I don't have to give up all this guaranteed money and give it right to Amari Cooper like I do with Adams. Adams still, you have to pay quite a bit. And Amari Cooper, this might almost be beneficial for them if they were going to go out and get another receiver and add some more ammo. They'd be getting a guy in Amari Cooper that essentially there's no strings attached after this year. He can just help you complete your mission and try and win a Super Bowl. To me, it would be like Sammy Watkins. This isn't OBJ. To me, this is like Sammy Watkins. Kind of a little disgruntled. I mean, Cooper's still a fantastic receiver, but it just doesn't feel like it's there anymore in Cleveland. So with that said, I think Cooper has a better fit for the Rams than Adams. I think Adams is just a fantastic wide receiver. He's the best out of the three that I'm going to talk about. And the Rams have been linked to him in the past, so I could see it. But Amari Cooper fits the offense more. And I don't know if I can really explain that well enough. But I actually like the idea of going after Cooper, but again, we'll hold to the end. He is a free agent after because he has a voided out deal moving forward. And again, the Raiders might compete this year. The Browns look like the worst team in football. Them and the Jaguars, but they beat the Jaguars, so I guess the Browns do. Or I guess the Jaguars do. But anyway, point being, the Browns could trade him. Like, this is real. It's a guy on a rental, would be a rental on a contract year. And if the team's not good enough, he's absolutely getting traded. Davante Adams may never get traded because the Raiders might actually have something there. They're not like the worst team in the league. So that's what I'll say in that regard. And then Diontae Johnson here. Johnson's 28, so he's the youngest of the three. They're all like 2-year intervals. But Diontae Johnson's 28. He'd also be a rental, but he cost you $7 million in 2024. Up front, so Carolina would probably have to get creative with that if they wanted better, compensation. So maybe taking on a little bit more of that money so the Rams give you a better pick. But he is the best blocking receiver, in my opinion, on this list. Right now, he's 15th in the NFL in terms of blocking, for the receivers in 2024. For his career, 404 receptions, 4,519 yards, 26 touchdowns. And he's got 13 receptions for 156 yards and a touchdown this year after having a breakout game this past week against the Raiders. So what are we talking about here? What are we looking at? Well, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to Diontae Johnson, this is somebody that I thought the Steelers were going to extend and be excited about long term. That's not what happened. Diontae Johnson is somebody that has had a 1,000-yard season, a 900-yard season. He had an 800-yard season after the 1,000-yard season, and it's been going downhill ever since. So the Steelers moved on from him and traded him away to the Panthers. But the reality is this. I still think Diontae Johnson is a great route runner. He's a great blocker and would fit like a glove in this offense. Now, where is his role, though? Because I think it's almost a tale of too many cooks in the kitchen when you have Demarcus Robinson, you have Tutu Atwell, you have Tyler Johnson, you have Jordan Whittington, then Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. It's a lot. So what's the deal here? Because keep in mind, the Rams traded away Ben Skoranek and made some room. So why would they add another guy? Well, I think Diontae Johnson has that ability where, if you wanted another guy on a rental deal, he can help. He can get open. He can work in the slot. He can work on the outside. Again, he's a great blocker. This, to me, would be very interesting because is he starting over Demarcus Robinson? I don't know. I really don't. He might, but to me, they wouldn't be able to get him on a crazy, they would probably have to give up like a 6th for it to be worth it. Anything more than a 6th-round pick, I don't think I would trade for Diontae Johnson. But very intriguing. Adam Thielen's an honorable mention, but they didn't mention him, so I didn't put him there. They didn't link him to the Rams. But I think while you're looking at Carolina and you're looking at just, trying to win a Super Bowl and going all in or whatever with these trades, Adam Thielen would do that. He'd be like having, because he's a fantastic blocker, fantastic. And it would be like having like a Robert Woods guy that, really good culture guy, obviously athletic, but he's also got some size as well, can go up and high point the football. So that's an interesting thing there. But I guess really my conclusion here is the best fit for the Rams is Amari Cooper. I would say if the Rams are going to trade for anyone, Amari Cooper makes the most sense. He's on a contract year, $1.2 million. So that's going to be the least amount that you would pay between these three receivers. The other two guys, you're going to be paying, at least $8 million for both of the other two. So if they don't mess around with the contract. So Amari Cooper, $1.2 million. I think that's just great for their cap situation. The fact that he's a free agent after the season doesn't mean they couldn't bring him back either. But I think if they wanted to add some juice, going after a Sammy Watkins type of guy, like they did in 2017, makes a lot of sense. Diontae Johnson's a good football player and would fit this offense. But I think Amari Cooper fits this offense. He's still a really good blocker and all of that. But I also don't have to pay a premium like I would with Davante Adams, who may not fit this offense. They might be having to do some other things to try to get him involved. And when I say that, understand, I'm not saying there's no chance like that Davante Adams would work in this offense. I'm saying ideally Amari Cooper fits this offense perfectly. So the question is, does it make any sense? I think Davante Adams, you're looking at a 3rd round pick to start, and maybe you give up a 2nd round pick in 2026. I don't know how that looks, but I could see that. With Amari Cooper, maybe you're giving up a 4th tops, reason being he's on a rental. Now, I think it's the most realistic with the Browns because the Browns are, I think, the worst out of the 3 teams, if you ask me. With Diontae Johnson, it has to be a 6th round pick. Diontae Johnson has not shown enough for me to justify, paying him any more than that, giving up any more than that. The reason being is he's trending downward, and while I like him, that's just the reality of it. He had 1,000 yards, and then right after that, he's gone down to 882 and then 717. So we'll see. This year could be better, especially now that Andy Dalton is at quarterback. I think maybe on the most, I might even lean towards a 5th round pick, but I don't think I would make that trade. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys would do. Personally, I wouldn't make a trade for any of the 3 right away anyway. I would want to give these opportunities to Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, Demarcus Robinson. I wouldn't trade for them right now. If at any point you deemed that Tutu Atwell can't do this, Demarcus Robinson can't do this, whatever, then yes. But I think right now I would stand pat. I'm not in any hurry to make a trade. They're still 1-2. A great win against the 49ers. Everything had to go their way. You have to understand that. They do have winnable games coming up. There's a chance that they can get to 4-3 sooner than later. But the reality is right now they're a 1-2 team that was blown out by Arizona last week, that has a bevy of injuries. And while I do believe they're going to get healthier after the bye, we don't know what this weekend brings or the next weekend. Just because they got out of the 49er game healthy doesn't mean that they can't get hurt and banged up this week at Soldier Field or the next week at SoFi against the Packers or during the bye. Who knows? The point I'm making is you can't just rush into this. I don't think a trade needs to be made right now, but I think it's intriguing. I think around trade deadline, I might have a different tune. So I think Amari Cooper, if we're ranking them 1 through 3, Amari Cooper number 1, Davante Adams number 2, and Diontae Johnson number 3. That's not me saying Amari is better than Davante. I just think he makes more sense based on the value, the fit, all of that. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and Kick. And be sure to check out this video and all other videos on all audio podcast platforms. I'll be back soon, but I appreciate you guys. And of course, special thanks to our sponsor, BetUS, for sponsoring today's video. You take care, and we'll see you guys soon. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.